Mr. McLeod,
Contempt for what?
Mr. McLeod, two things are going to happen. You're going to answer my question, or you're going to jail for summary contempt for not complying with the court's request. Do you, Mr. McLeod, understand that the maximum penalty for the charge against you is 3 years in prison and or $1,000 fine?
I don't understand the charges.
Mr. McLeod is in contempt of court taken into custody.
Really? That's it.
This court hearing is disorderly from the very beginning. Mr. McLeod is facing a serious charge involving an incident with law enforcement, but instead of addressing it directly, he argues that the court has no authority over him. He repeatedly relies on well-known sovereign citizen claims, interrupting the proceedings, and using legal-sounding phrases that have no real standing. Each time, the judge calmly stops him and brings the focus back to reality. The tension builds throughout the hearing, and by the end, the judge has no choice but to order him held overnight. The entire exchange is both frustrating and oddly entertaining, especially given how confident Mr. McLeod seems despite his arguments falling apart. If you enjoy courtroom breakdowns like this, be sure to like and subscribe. Let's get into it.
Do you understand your right to a lawyer, including a court-appointed lawyer?
I understand that.
Okay.
I'm here by special appearance, and I will be representing myself.
Okay. I'm required by law before I accept that waiver to do a couple things. One, advise you of the maximum penalties that you could face for the charges that you're in my court for. Resisting, obstructing conservation officers is a high court misdemeanor punishable by up to 2 years in prison and or $1,000 fine. There's a habitual offender second notice that's been filed by the prosecutor, which would make that a felony punishable by up to 3 years and or $1,000 fine. And marine safety operating while intoxicated is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days and or $100 to $500 fine. Do you understand the maximum penalty for the charges against you?
Well, I don't even really understand why I'm here, honestly.
One thing that really stands out is the judge's calm approach. Despite constant interruptions and confusion, the judge continues to give Mr. McLeod opportunities to cooperate and understand the process. The level of patience shown here is impressive. Mr. McLeod repeatedly claims not to understand basic legal procedures, which raises an obvious question for viewers. Is he genuinely confused, or is this an act to avoid responsibility? Let me know what you think in the comments.
Well, okay. Well, that's fine. Do you understand the maximum penalty that I just explained to you?
No. So,
hold on. I get you a couple things, or I'm going to be in trouble. Okay. Do you understand that the maximum penalty that you could face for the charges that you're here for is up to 3 years in prison and or $1,000 fine?
I don't understand the nature and cause of the action against me. So
what is it that you don't understand? Do you not understand how long 3 years is, or how much the fine is that I've articulated? Can you tell me what it is you don't understand?
The nature and cause of the action against me because we don't establish jurisdiction.
That's not what I'm asking you right now. Well, I'll let you place whatever objections you want on the record, Mr. McLeod. I promise you that. Okay. Can we just go one step at a time? So do you understand the maximum penalty that you could face if you're convicted as charged? 3 years in prison or $1,000 fine.
Well, I have another question because the statutory jurisdiction doesn't exist under the Constitution. So in order for me to defend myself, could you please tell me where the published rules of conduct are for criminal statutory jurisdiction, or where I can find the nature and cause of this jurisdiction, or how this information exists?
No, I don't even understand what you're asking.
So you're saying this is a statutory jurisdiction under what? The statutes of Michigan, correct?
Mr. McLeod, I've told you what my jurisdiction is.
General jurisdiction.
The people of the state of Michigan voted to convene a constitutional convention in 1961.
Sure.
There was a constitutional convention in 1961 and 1962. They proposed a state constitution. The voters of the state of Michigan ratified that in 1963. Article 6 establishes the judicial power. And the circuit court is a court under that judicial power of Article 6 of the state constitution. And so you're here in my court. I have subject matter jurisdiction over those crimes. I have personal jurisdiction over you because you've been alleged to have committed them in our county. That's my jurisdiction. So Mr. McLeod, you want to represent yourself? Do you understand the maximum penalty that you could face of 3 years in prison and or $1,000 fine?
One second.
I can see why his attorney withdrew. Oh, shit.
Hang on, someone in the prosecutor's office is not muted. I'm going to remove you from the meeting at this time.
Oh,
Prosecutor's office is generally allowed to attend to observe. They've participated. I'm removing them from the hearing.
There's also a moment in the courtroom that feels very raw and unscripted. It's one of those situations where the reaction says exactly what everyone else is thinking. Even though the setting is serious, it's hard not to notice how unusual the moment feels. It also explains why Mr. McLeod's attorney chose to step away from the case. Mr. McLeod spends much of the hearing flipping through papers, searching for rules that don't actually apply. He appears convinced that he's discovered some legal shortcut, while everyone else already knows where this is heading. Watching him continue down this path makes you wonder what people using these arguments expect will happen. The case isn't going to disappear simply because someone refuses to follow the rules. By the end, even the prosecutor's brief remark feels like a fitting final note.
One second. Okay, so when enforcement of mere statutes, judges of all courts do not act judicially and are thus are not protected and qualified by limited immunity. That's Owen versus the city. I just want to state a few things for the record since you're claiming this is a jurisdiction under statutory law.
Hang on. Mr. McLeod, can we back it? Look at me for a second. Can we talk here?
I've challenged subject matter jurisdiction and nothing can go forward until that's addressed. You're saying
I did address it and I denied your objection. I have subject matter
doesn't
jurisdiction.
exist under the Constitution.
Your objection is noted. So, Mr. McLeod, do you understand? Let me explain to you.
Sure.
Sometimes, as I said, people might want to represent themselves, but let's say they have limited intellectual capacity and they don't understand what's going on.
At this point, the judge's tone becomes firm and direct. There's no anger or sarcasm, just clear facts. Mr. McLeod continues to reference irrelevant materials, while the judge calmly explains why none of it applies. Moments like this show why judges carry authority in the courtroom. They don't need to raise their voice to make a point.
I have to establish that they know what's going on before I can allow them to represent themselves. I'm required to establish, do you comprehend, do you know the maximum penalty that you could face if you're convicted as a result of this charge? 3 years in prison or $1,000 fine. Do you understand that, Mr. McLeod?
So I'd like to state for the record that
Mr. McLeod, stop. I can't establish that you know what you're doing. So do you know the maximum penalty that you would face?
Your Honor, I've challenged this court's jurisdiction. You haven't established it yet. You said you have a statutory jurisdiction which doesn't exist under the Constitution. I'm trying to figure out where I stand with this. So I can't answer any of your questions until you answer some of mine.
That's not how it works. Are you refusing to answer my question?
No, I'm
Then answer it. Do you understand the maximum penalty that you face for this charge?
So judges who become involved in enforcement of
Mr.
these
McLeod,
statutes.
I have other matters. Mr. McLeod,
Involved agency. What's that?
you know, I understand you want to object to things and you're going to be allowed to object to things. Okay.
Sure.
But we have to do things one step at a time. And I do have other cases today. I'm not going to entertain this for like a whole hour. I've got other cases going on. If you want to dig in your heels and just make this real complicated or real difficult, we could do that. And I can hold you in contempt and you'll go back to a jail cell for a while.
Your
and then
Honor,
we'll deal with
I
it.
don't wish to be held in contempt. I just wish to exercise my Sixth Amendment right.
That's fine.
And
So before I can let you under,
I can
before I
cite
can,
laws. I can cite laws that will show you that the exercise of a right can be converted into a crime. I'm trying to understand the nature and cause of the action against me. You're not clarifying it enough to where I can comprehend it, as you say.
you comprehend the maximum penalty that you would face.
I'm not answering any of those questions until you establish that this is a court of the Constitution, has jurisdiction under these jurisdictions.
I established it. I told you. You might think I'm wrong and you can appeal.
There's
it
no
to the
such
Michigan
thing as
Court
a
of Appeals.
statutory jurisdiction.
Mr. McLeod, let me make this simple for you. Do you ever watch, let me make this simple for you.
Sure.
I'm going to ask you this question one more time. One more time.
Okay.
Two things are going to happen. You are either going to answer my question or I'm going to hold you summarily in contempt. And the court officer will bring you to a jail cell and we'll talk about it tomorrow. You understand that?
So
Mr.
in
McLeod,
contempt for what?
Mr. McLeod, two things are going to happen. You're going to answer my question, or you're going to jail for summary contempt for not complying with the court's request. Do you, Mr. McLeod, understand that the maximum penalty for the charge against you is 3 years in prison and or $1,000 fine?
I don't understand the charges.
Mr. McLeod is in contempt of court, taken into custody.
Really? That's it. Protecting my rights is what you said last time.
Fucking John.
This isn't true. You guys are
Follow
following
unconstitutional
You're following
orders.
unlawful orders. It's not
Not a
constitutional
good
at all.
thing.
Mr. McLeod's in contempt, he's sentenced to 1 day. Mr. McLeod, your sentence is 1 day in jail. We'll reconvene tomorrow and get you
This is about
notice.
the Constitution. I did nothing wrong except to question and exercise my rights.
What's most surprising is how confident Mr. McLeod appears throughout the hearing. He insists on representing himself even though he had the option to accept legal help. The judge initially explains everything slowly and respectfully, but patience has limits. Instead of answering simple questions, Mr. McLeod keeps repeating arguments that hold no legal value, rather than helping his situation. This approach only adds consequences. There's also a more serious side to this. Claims like these have been rejected by courts for decades, and judges are required to follow established law, not personal interpretations. Continuing down this path can lead to lasting consequences that affect basic rights and future opportunities. While it may be entertaining to watch, it's also a reminder of how important it is to understand the legal process and take it seriously. That wraps up my breakdown of this case. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Mr. McLeod truly believed his arguments, or was he just trying to delay the outcome? If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and take care.